everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Trump suggesting our neighbor to the north should pay for the smoky skies across the U.S. caused by Canadian wildfires. President Trump said he spoke with the Prime Minister of Canada about it at the World Cup last night. Listen.
Our air has been poisoned. I have a good relationship with Mark Carney, but we got to stop the fires up there. If we can help them, we'll help them. But maybe they should pay us some damages or something, or we should do some tariffs. But it was terrible.
Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, responded just a short time ago. Listen to this.
Rather than criticize and threaten Canada, your closest friends, maybe one day you're going to need our help like you did last year, and we deployed the people. I get frustrated just listening to that bunch of rubbish.
Premier Doug Ford of Ontario is with us right now. Premier, thank you so much for joining us. It sounds like you're feeling frustrated with this situation right now, specifically after what the president said.
Well, I'm never frustrated with the American people, and I always differentiate between the American people, which I love, and the president. This is beyond politics, our relationship, Wolf. And I know when neighbors need help, you go and support them, just like we did in Hurricane Helena. We sent over 50 utility linemen down there, trucks, I should say, over 100 utility linemen to support the people in the Carolinas and Georgia. We had our water bombers ready out west to support the California fires. Right now, I understand that I had to triple check this figure, over 40,560 fires since January 1st of this year in the U.S., and burnt 3.9 million acres. And I just find it very frustrating that President Trump wouldn't say, here, we have assets, we'll bring them up there. Because I can reassure the American people, when you have any natural disasters, we will be there within seconds of a phone call. And we love our American neighbors. We're going to be there to support them. But it's unfortunate, the president has to politicize it. And maybe what the president should do is get rid of the tariffs on the softwood lumber, because 33% of all the lumber the U.S. uses comes from Canada. And when you put tariffs on it, there's a reason why housing construction costs are going through the roof in the U.S. and not making it affordable because of these tariffs. I want to work with our great friends and allies, and I emphasize great, because again, I love the American people. I know they love Canadians, but not one asset, not one offer from the president has come through to the prime minister or myself. We need support. We need help right now.
So do you think you would reconsider sending help for U.S. wildfires in the future?
Not for a second. I will send whatever it takes when we have the resources down to our friends. And they are our friends, our closest friends and allies. We will do anything, no matter if it's hurricanes or wildfires or tornadoes. Anytime you need help, we will send the Ontario Corps down. We'll send our firefighters. We'll send our utility linemen down, which we have in the past. But not one single offer has come the other way.
You held an update just a little while ago on the wildfires in Canada. What can you tell us about how the fight is going right now?
We have over 100 active water bombers and helicopters. We have 155 crews, well over 800 wildland firefighters, which are different than regular firefighters. We're training up our regular city firefighters to be able to go up to the north to support. We're throwing every resource we possibly can at these wildfires. We're getting support from other provinces, be it
I think we just lost our audio, unfortunately. Premier Doug Ford of Ontario, as usual. Thank you very much, and we'll continue this conversation down the.
All right, what to do, everyday people, man. So yeah, these wildfires are spreading from. Well, the smoke is, I know, from Detroit all the way to Ohio. It's like, because I got a friend in Detroit and I got a friend in Ohio, and both of them have like really foggy looking skies. It's like really dark, like a dark red, dark black. It smells funny, and people just want to stay inside. It's a crazy situation. I know it's devastating to Canadians, but for the U.S. not to send any help is kind of crazy because we're technically at war across the world, on the other side of the world, and here at home you have your closest allies who are having a terrible time right now, and we're not there to support them, which we should support them. That's, people would think like, what is that, socialist? Being a socialist, supporting others, for free, giving them free support. But at the same time, I don't think it will be free. I think eventually there will be a cost to it, to Canada. But to before the problem is rectified and established, Donald Trump is already talking about receiving compensation or raising tariffs, just because of the wildfire, instead of offering help, which is a jerk move. It's in DC too. That's crazy. It's that far to be way down in DC. Thank you for the gold coin. I appreciate it. So we gotta look out for our neighbors. Like I don't get it. I don't understand the why that isn't the first thing that's not why that's not something we're talking about now. Like how we're helping them versus how should we get compensated? Like weird, right?
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, Premier?
Yes, I can hear you.
Where the connection is, the technical connection is not very good. But finish your thought, what you wanted to say.
Well, I just we would accept any help. We're in desperate need of support, and I would do the exact same thing, which we have in the past. I will always support our closest friends and allies. I love the American people. I love the U.S. I will do whatever it takes in the future to support them, which we have in the past.
What's your reaction to President Trump suggesting Canada pay damages?
Boris, I think a lot of Americans, a lot of Canadians are just tired of these outbursts from the president. They're just detached from reality. Like if the president announced he was building a big, beautiful wall to keep out the smoke, or if Pete Hegseth declared war on the smoke with space lasers from Elon Musk, I think you just sounded in Canada, you'd hear the sound of a million facepalm emojis getting clicked at the same time. But it's not a joke. It's super serious. Canada's been under sustained economic attack by this administration since it came in. So we have to take it seriously. But I mean, it's dismaying to hear this kind of comment from the president. We're breathing the same smoke that Americans are breathing. Entire communities have fled for their lives moments ahead of this terrifying wall of fire rushing in. And instead of an offer for help, we get threats and insults. I mean, we're not blaming the United States for the fact that British Columbia has air quality warnings in effect right now from smoke from fires in Washington State and Oregon. Whenever the U.S. has struggled with big wildfires, Canada's been there to lend a hand. We sent hundreds of firefighters and planes and other assistance to help California with those monster fires last year. Just last week, we lost a Canadian pilot who died fighting one of the huge wildfires on the Colorado-Utah border. His name was Nicholas Dale, and his wife and two sons are mourning his loss today. So the president's comments are especially insulting to firefighters, whether the Canadians helping out in the States or over 5,000 firefighters putting their lives on the line to put these fires out right now.
And notably, President Trump isn't the only lawmaker who's been critical of the way that these fires have been handled. There were members of Michigan's congressional delegation that wrote a letter to Prime Minister Carney lamenting what they describe as, quote, the third consecutive year we've had to write Canadian officials about a crisis that Canada has the tools to prevent and has chosen not to. Could more have been done to prevent this? What is your message to them?
I mean, again, pretty detached from the scientific reality. Only about we're talking about an area of like more than 1 million square miles, Boris, and only less than 20% of it has ever been under management. This is the far north. These are forests largely untouched, and you can't have better forest management in a forest that you've never managed. But I think it's important to get back to the basics, because apparently we have to remind everyone of these facts. Wildfires are getting more and more devastating because they're being turbocharged by global warming. Global warming is being caused primarily by by the burning of fossil fuels. If carbon dioxide was visible like smoke, you'd see the biggest single cloud in history that's drifted out of the United States. And that's the responsibility of big oil, headquartered in the United States and elsewhere. According to the Carbon Majors database, Exxon and Chevron are both in the top 5 greenhouse gas emitters of all time. Trump doesn't talk about that. After all, the fossil fuel industry contributed almost $100 million to his reelection campaign, $500 million spent by big oil in the last election cycle alone. If President Trump wants compensation for the harms that these fires are causing, how about an excess profit tax on big oil that made $30 million an hour in excess profits in the first month of the illegal war on Iran? I would like to.
Yeah, Donald Trump got out of that. What was it? The Green Deal that Joe Biden had. I don't know. He had something to do with it, but it was something about the Green Deal where they were trying to take move to electric cars and stuff. And so Dodge went as far as they were canceling the Hemi at one point. They were not going to make any more Hellcats because going into this Green Deal, they were looking into the future. But then when Trump was getting reelected, because they knew he was about to get reelected, they quickly went back. They only released that one Dodge Charger, the 2-door Dodge Charger, the electric version, and that was the only one. And so they quickly pulled the plug on this going green, and started back building Hellcats. Like it never left, you know. So I think what it is America's a consumer of oil. And we like fast cars. We like, we're not big on technology, but big on power. But technology is a big thing. But I mean, it's we're using the cheapest resources to, further technology versus other countries where they're trying to use more green technology. Now you have something like AI where there's, these AI plants are, allegedly contaminating water and using up all the water supplies, which is, I don't know how that works. I don't even want to talk about it because I really don't know. But a lot of people say it, and I'm just like, I don't know. I think that's the way the world is going. I believe if AI companies want to get better, they'll figure out a way to make it less toxic, or the government should regulate it if it gets that bad. I think, but with Trump in office, I don't think that's something that he's willing to do, is regulate stuff, especially if AI companies if the heat gets on them and then they start lobbying to Donald Trump and the Republican Party. I think they'll ignore the long-term effects of AI and water contamination and things of that nature. So, but don't quote me on that because I don't know 100% if that's true or not. So that's just a theory of mine, but it is what it is. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comment section.